Welcome back to another vlog. Last week we talked about shipping and what I do for shipping, how I get shipping, and how I save a load of money, basically. But this week we're going to be talking about how I spend a load of money, and that is on Meta ads. Now, the reason I'm speaking about it this week is because I'm going to shoot the new Marty Windbreaker in the Lake District this Saturday, hopefully, if my jackets arrive in time. So when I'm going into the shoot, I need to be thinking of different things to get. And by that, I mean different types of content I'm going to make, because the same content that performs well on ads is not going to perform well on organic. Since I started Frost as well, I've been a lot more successful on the ad side than the organic side. Not sure why. Maybe because it's a little bit more systematic and organic's a little bit more spray and pray, unless you know what you're doing. But I don't know what I'm doing. I just sort of go with what I think's cool and what I'd stop the scroll for. So I'm not an expert in that field. However, I've got a whiteboard here today, and this is how the funnel works. They call it a funnel because the amount of people that start at the top and not the amount of people that finish on the bottom, which is the people who buy. Now, instead of holding that up the whole time, I'm just going to read off it. So you got top of funnel here. Top of funnel is where you're going to reach the most people. This content is going to be suited for the masses rather than a specific niche. An example of this is UGC. UGC is user-generated content, and it's usually what you see like micro-influencers and big influencers do. So let's take, for example, big UK influencer, Molly-Mae. Molly-Mae gets sent a new YSL perfume. She has to make a video for it. That's when she's going to post it on her Instagram feed, and it's going to put in the description #ad. Basically her just walking through her using it, how she uses it, stuff like that. That works really well on an ad for the masses because A, a lot of people know Molly-Mae. B, it then attaches Molly-Mae and YSL brand together in the same brand world, so people start developing links in the brain. So say they haven't seen Molly-Mae for a couple of months, but the last video they saw was that YSL one, they might think, oh, I might go and check out that perfume. Or if they hear the name out of someone talking about it, like, oh, that's the one that Molly-Mae was reviewing, let's go and smell it. And number 3, even if you aren't a fan of Molly-Mae, I don't follow Molly-Mae, I still know who she bloody is. And if I see her face on something, you automatically develop a little bit of trust no matter what brand it is because you already know the face. So that's very good for attracting new customers. Now we'll move on to middle of the funnel. Middle of the funnel content is sort of like lifestyle or like, depends what you're selling really. In our case, well, in my case, I'm selling clothes. So it's mainly lifestyle content. But say I was selling like something functional, say like a kitchen utensil you've never heard of, or like an air fryer. When air fryers were new, it'd be like a product demo. So this is sort of similar to like telemarketing, where some fella is over the TV screen telling you to ring up and buy now because he's showing you all the features, except the features are shown in sort of like a short form, brain rotty format. So it actually gets people to convert because everyone's attention spans are absolutely fried. And then the people in the middle of the funnel, let's say you start with 1 million people see a top of funnel ad. Then when you get to the middle, it's probably going to drop down to about 300,000. These are just random, by the way. It's just to show you how many people actually convert. And at this point as well, some people might have clicked on your website once, might have thought, oh, that's good, might wait till payday, might not get it, need a little bit more convincing. In the middle of the funnel, they've probably made up whether they want to buy it or not. And some people do purchase at this stage, but a lot of people need one more push. That's where bottom of the funnel comes in. In my case, obviously, because I'm selling clothes, that would be flat lay content. I'm a very humble man, said nobody ever, but I believe my t-shirt flat lays are the best on the planet, and there's no seconds to that. And I'll back that to the end of time. Charlie Frost does the best flat lays. If you don't agree, argue with your mother, because I do not care, mate. This is just acting as another reminder. You've seen the product, you've seen what it does, you've seen where to use it. All you need is one more little push just to go and buy it. And by that stage, let's say you've got down to, it's not very high, maybe 10,000 people. The average conversion rate on a Meta ad is about 3%. So the total population that see the top of the funnel, about 3% of them will buy. So if 100 people go on my website, the industry standard is about 3% conversion rate. So that's 3 people buying from me. But what we've got going for next week is a load of ad content planned. Still going to do organic, and some of it will be posted as organic and ads at the same time. So you can build a little bit of social proof by boosting the Instagram post rather than having a separate ad for it. And that's what I'm going to do for my top of funnel content. content, because although the amount of likes on your post does not directly correlate with the amount of sales you get, it is good for new customers to see that people are engaged with your posts, because it gives them a little bit of a nudge to begin with. That's what I think anyway, because even though everyone likes to think they're independent, if someone sees a brand and they say got 20 likes on a like the most insane piece you've ever seen, you're probably going to think in your back of your head, why have only 20 people like this? But if you see the same brand with 20,000 likes on the same post, you're going to think, yeah, that's a dog's bollocks. I want a little lick of that. So let me run you through the type of content I'm going to be getting next week. One last thing as well. Since I last run ads, which was probably Black Friday, but before that, it was literally ages ago, the game has changed. Video ads perform 10 times better than picture ads. I'm better at taking pictures, so I need to get my video game up. So this drop's going to be a lot more testing out what's going to work for the summer, because I am hammering ads this summer, because the one summer I did hammer ads, that was my best summer ever. And the only thing that's changed is the algorithm. People have still got money. People still want to buy stuff. And more importantly, they want to buy the best t-shirts in the UK, maybe even the planet, off me. This then begs the question, what sort of videos am I planning to get in the lakes? I'm going to tell you exactly what type of videos I'm getting, because I've got a whole Miro board dedicated to what I'm going to be getting. First one is I'm recreating a video that I've already made. It was this Rockstar video. Now, this Rockstar video didn't perform that well organically. However, I think it will perform very well on an ad. And as I need to optimize all of my ads for video rather than static, I'm going to recreate this, but put a bit more of an engaging twist on it. Because if everyone's doing something different when the camera pans, then hopefully the hook rate is a lot higher. And not to mention as well, if it's outside rather than in the studio where it's really dark and gloomy and it's all bright outside and looks nice, hopefully that's going to get people to stop scroll as well. So that'll be a bit of top of funnel content I'll be getting. The main part of the shoot is actually the promo video. It's always a promo video. The promo video has a little bit of a story to it. It's supposed to be a little bit funny, so that's where most of our time is going to be dedicated. Something else I'm doing now, which is incorporating both static and also video, is that there's something called a digital postcard. Digital postcard is basically like a 5 to 10 second snippet of a scenario. So imagine a camera is on a tripod. It's just on one location. Let's say the location is a beach. There's some fella just coming out of the ocean with a surfboard running back to shore. That's a digital postcard because it's a snippet or a piece of time. However, this is going to perform better than just if it was a picture, because obviously Reels, TikToks, everything is about video now. I focus mostly on Instagram because Instagram is like my polished portfolio. TikTok, I just spray like random and see what sticks. But for more people to find me on Instagram, the video needs to be able to show up on a reel. Now, a static image can show up on a reel if you put a sound to it, but once you click on the Reels tab, people's mindsets are, well, I need a video here, I need something engaging, something needs to start moving quick, or I'm scrolling off with my thumb. So if I do a digital postcard and then have a carousel, people are going to stay on my post for longer, increasing the likelihood of more people seeing it if they watch it and enjoy it, and then like, then follow. That's the idea. Also as well, I don't think it's going to blow up organically. It could do. I hope it does, but I don't think it will. I can then run this as like a middle of funnel ad that people have already seen the top of funnel content, or I could use it as a separate creative for a top of funnel. That's the idea anyway. On the shoot though, we are still going to be getting photos, and photos will be taken obviously in portrait, but all the videos will be getting taken in landscape. It's a bit annoying though, because I really like pictures. I prefer pictures to videos personally, and the brain rot age of 2026 just doesn't support pictures really. Like Instagram used to be a picture social media. Now it's not an image-based social media, it's a video-based social media, because I saw what TikTok were doing and thought, yeah, we'll have a piece of that cake. If you're not following Frost already though, I would make sure you're following Frost on Instagram, because this rollout is going to be our best to date, hands down. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is how you're going to test the videos you've made, or the video I've made. So basically on Meta, you run a thing called a campaign. Obviously you want sales, so you run a sales campaign. However, there are different options like traffic, stuff like that, and like leads, but you don't want them. So you've got a sales campaign, you then go to the ad set,
Ad set is like the type of audience you're targeting with this. Now, what I used to do was have a bunch of different interests and put them in to just perfectly describe my consumer. But because the algorithms change so much now, if you do that, you're actually limiting it. The algorithm's smart enough now to look at your ad and know who to show it to in order to get the best results. So you really want to leave that just plain. Then you get onto the third section, which is going to be creative. Creative is the most important part of the ad, because if you've got a crap creative and someone's looking at something they don't like, obviously they're not going to buy it. But making a good creative is harder than you think, and a lot of times the one creative you think is going to outperform another ends up doing worse. What I like to do is have a bank of creatives, so I'll make like between 5 and 10 mix of video and stills, and then you'll drip feed it to the campaign. It does greatly affect how much you're running on it a day as well, because it'll be sent into something called the learning phase. It takes 30 points to get out of the learning stage, and these different points are like, if your target for the sales campaign is for a purchase on your website, 30 purchases will take out the learning phase, and then it sort of knows what it's doing. But one thing that Meta likes to do is, say I give it £100 a day to spend on ads and I've got 3 creatives, 9 times out of 10 it will exhaust like 75-80% of the total budget on one ad. Isn't ideal if you want to get like the maximum spread and know what's actually working. It's going to take more time and more money, and I don't really have a solution for this other than increase the ad spend so it gets spent a little bit more evenly, and you can see the data of what's performing well. There's a lot of tricky bits with meta ads that I'm probably forgetting, but you'll sort of figure it out along the way. One thing is, you need to make sure you have all your metrics set up. I recommend going on a different video and setting them up, because it is quite difficult. The main ones that I look for are ROAS, click-through rate, engagement rate, hook rate, frequency, CPA, and CPC. Let's say your CPC, which is cost per click, is high, but your ROAS is like 5, you're going to keep running it. But say you didn't have your ROAS showing on your dashboard and you only have cost per click, you might turn the ad off because you don't think it's doing well. So you need to make sure you're analysing everything you've got in front of you so you can make an adequate decision. My sort of benchmarks for a decent ad at the moment is ROAS between 2.75 and 3. Frequency around 3. Frequency is just how many times the same person is seeing the same ad. Any more than 3 gets a little bit annoying. CTR, click-through rate, 1%. Conversion rate, aiming for about 3. And then cost per click between 15 and 20 pence per click. Unfortunately though, the ads game is a money game. The more you put in, the more you put out, and if you don't have a big budget to start with, it is going to be a little bit harder, but it doesn't mean you can't win with them, because I've won with them before and I will this time round again.
I've just realised as I'm editing this video as well, the audio is 10 times better if I actually use the mic. Who would have thought that, eh? So I'm going to start using the mic from now on. But before we end this vlog, just want to say it is just trial and error. You have just got to just try and spend some money. I've spent like, what, £12,000 on meta ads so far, and that's what I've learned. I've probably got another 88 grand to spend before I finally crack it. That's just the way it is. However, if you did enjoy this video, please make sure you like and subscribe, because it does help me a lot more than you know. We do post every single Sunday at 6 PM UK time, and occasionally on a Wednesday at 6 PM when I feel like it. Next week, we've got a day in the life shooting the Marty Windbreaker campaign in the Lake District, and it might not all go to plan because currently my jackets are stuck in Azerbaijan when they should be in this office by tomorrow. Is that going to look likely? No, it's not. But I've got a backup plan, so you'll have to wait and see what it is. If you're familiar with this channel as well, we always end on a motivational quote, and this week's quote is the following: "You don't need to see the top of the staircase to take the first step.